Ethan's eyes opened slowly. He blinked, trying to focus. The light was soft, almost glowing, but it wasn't like anything he had ever seen. He sat up and looked around. The room was smooth, metallic, and filled with faint humming sounds. Strange. Symbols glowed softly on the walls. Nothing looked human. He tried to remember how he got here. The last thing he remembered was sleeping in his small apartment on Earth. And now, he was here, floating, somewhere he didn't understand. Then, he noticed it, his arms. Strange, glowing marks were spread across his skin. They pulsed with light, moving like tiny rivers over his veins. He lifted his arms, turning them this way and that. The marks didn't hurt, but they made his skin tingle, almost like static electricity. "What? What is this?" Ethan whispered, to himself. His voice sounded small in the quiet room. From the corner, a figure stepped out. Ethan froze. She was tall, taller than any human he had seen. Her skin shimmered faintly, like moonlight on water. Her eyes were bright, almost like stars, and her smile, it was calm but full of knowledge, almost like she knew things Ethan could not even imagine. "Good morning," she said, her voice smooth, melodic, and gentle. "I see you have awakened." Ethan swallowed hard. Who are you? Where am I?" "I am Princess Liara," she said simply. "And you are aboard the Aelora, my ship. You are safe here, but your awakening is important. It marks the beginning of your transformation." "My transformation?" Ethan asked, his voice shaking. I don't understand. What is happening to me?" Liara stepped closer. Her hands moved gracefully, pointing to the glowing marks on his arms. "These marks are not harmful. They are a bond, a connection. You have been chosen for something greater, Ethan. Something your kind has never experienced before." Ethan looked at the marks again. They pulsed faster, almost like they were alive. A strange warmth spread through his body. He felt energy he had never felt before, like a small spark running through his muscles and nerves. "You're chosen?" he asked, confusion mixing with fear. "Chosen for what?" Liara's eyes glimmered. "To become something new, to learn, to grow. The marks you see are the first step. They will help you see and do things beyond your current limits. You will learn to adapt, to survive, and even to help others in ways humans never imagined." Ethan felt a shiver. He wanted to run, but his legs wouldn't move. Something about the marks made him feel heavier and lighter, all at the same time. His mind felt sharper, clearer. Thoughts that had taken him minutes before now seemed to appear instantly. "Relax," Liara said, as if reading his mind. "Fear is natural. You do not yet understand, but you will." Ethan tried to calm himself. He slowly sat back on the smooth floor. "Why me? I'm just a normal human. I work in an office, I go home, I sleep. I don't have powers. I don't know anything about whatever this is." Liara smiled softly. "That is exactly why you were chosen. Humans are special because they can adapt. They can survive in the most unexpected conditions. Your kind learns quickly. Your kind grows stronger under pressure. That is why you were selected. The galaxy watches your kind quietly. And now, you are here to see what humans can truly become." Ethan's mind spun. Adapt? Strong? Galaxy? He felt a strange mix of fear and pride. He had never thought of himself as strong, but the marks made him feel different. Powerful almost. "Come," Liara said, motioning him to follow her. "I will show you more." Ethan stood, still unsteady. He followed her down a long hallway, lined with soft, glowing lights. The walls seemed alive, shifting slightly as they walked. "Where are we going?" he asked. "To see your first test," Liara replied. "A test of awareness, strength, and thought. The marks will guide you, but your mind and body must learn quickly." Ethan's heart raced. Test? Strength? He had never run a race in his life, never lifted more than groceries. He felt fear creeping in again. But then he looked at Liara. She wasn't threatening, she wasn't angry, she was patient, like a teacher waiting for her student to understand a lesson. They reached a large chamber. The ceiling stretched high. Above, almost invisible. The walls were clear, showing stars and galaxies beyond. A soft hum filled the room, vibrating through Ethan's chest. And in the center of the chamber, shapes moved, simulated creatures, strange and alien, some hovering, some crawling. "Your first lesson is simple," Liara said. "Observe, react, and understand. You will find that the marks are more than decoration. They will guide your senses and help your body act before your mind fully understands." Ethan took a deep breath. He didn't know what to expect. He didn't know what he could do. But he could feel the marks glowing warmer now, pulsing as if they were alive and encouraging him. I think I understand," he said, though he barely did. His heart beat faster, not just from fear, but from excitement. Something was happening to him. Something big, something extraordinary. Liara smiled. "Good. You are ready to begin." And for the first time in his life, Ethan felt that he was part of something far larger than himself, something that could change the way he saw the universe, and the way the universe would see humans. Ethan could still feel the strange energy running through his arms. The glowing marks pulsed softly, almost like they were alive. Every now and then, a spark seemed to jump along his veins, making his skin tingle. It was a strange feeling, unsettling, yet exciting. He followed Princess Liara through the wide corridors of the ship. The walls shimmered faintly, displaying soft patterns of moving lights, like stars dancing in slow motion. Ethan's mind tried to process everything he had seen so far. Alien technology, a massive starship, creatures he couldn't name. And now, these marks on his arms. "Do they hurt?" he asked, flexing his fingers. Liara shook her head. "No. Pain is unnecessary. The marks are a bond. They adapt to you. They teach your body to reach beyond its normal limits." Ethan frowned. "Teach my body? I don't understand. I'm just me. How can marks teach anything?" Liara's smile widened. "You will see. Humans often think they are limited, but humans are more adaptable than almost any species I know. These marks awaken your potential. They enhance your reflexes, your perception, your intuition." As they walked, Ethan noticed something strange. Colors seemed brighter, sounds sharper. Even the faint hum of the ship felt like music vibrating through his chest. He blinked. Everything feels different. Louder, clearer. "Yes," Liara said softly. "The marks open your senses. They allow your mind to perceive things you could not before. But this is only the beginning. You will also learn to move faster, think faster, and react faster." Ethan's heartbeat quickened. He tried a small experiment. He reached out to touch a smooth wall, and his hand moved before his mind fully decided to act. The wall seemed to register his touch instantly, almost like it responded to him. "You see?" Liara asked. "The marks are symbiotic. They are not magic, but they are not simple biology either. They work with your body to enhance it. But you must learn control. Power without control can be dangerous." Ethan nodded slowly, trying to understand. It was one thing to feel stronger or faster. It was another to actually know how to use it. His mind raced with possibilities and fears. Could he really trust himself? Liara led him to a chamber filled with soft light. In the center, a table displayed several small devices. Each one hummed faintly, reacting to his presence. Ethan instinctively reached out, and the devices shifted slightly, as if sensing him. "These are tools," Liara explained. "They will help you understand the marks better. Try to use them. Do not think too much. Let your body guide your mind." Ethan hesitated, then placed his hand near one of the devices. It vibrated under his touch. Slowly, he moved his hand, and the device followed. His heart beat faster. It moves with me. I don't even have to think about it fully." "Exactly," Liara said. "Your reflexes are enhanced. Your body senses patterns your mind cannot yet see. The marks guide you." Hours passed, as Ethan practiced. At first he stumbled, moved too quickly or too slowly, but gradually he noticed the marks glowing in response to his movements, pulsing faster when he acted correctly, slower when he hesitated. "You are learning quickly," Liara said, watching him. "Most humans take weeks to reach this point. But you," she smiled, "you have a natural adaptability." Ethan felt a rush of pride. For the first time, he realized that the universe might not just be a place to survive. It could be a place where humans could excel. Suddenly, Liara paused. "There is more," she said. She gestured toward a large, transparent screen. The stars outside the ship shifted, revealing planets and fleets in the distance. One of them caught Ethan's attention. A planet glowed with lights, and he saw ships moving around it. "That is a human colony," Liara explained. "And these ships," she pointed to another cluster approaching quickly, "those are not friendly. They are from a faction that seeks to conquer and control. They do not see humans as equals. They see your kind as weak." Ethan felt a knot in his stomach. "And the marks, they can help me stop them?" Liara nodded. "They enhance your abilities, yes. But more importantly, they help you understand how to survive and lead. Humans are more than they know. You can become a bridge, a symbol of strength and cooperation." He looked down at his arms. The marks were no longer just glowing lines. They seemed almost like a map, guiding him to something greater. "Will I really be able to fight them?" Ethan asked, still unsure. Liara placed a hand on his shoulder. "You will do more than fight. You will teach your kind to rise. You will show the galaxy what humans can truly achieve. But first, you must understand yourself and your body. Only then will you be ready." Ethan took a deep breath. He felt the marks on his arms warm and alive. He flexed his fingers again. Each pulse seemed to whisper, urging him forward. Fear was still there, yes, but so was determination. "Okay," he said finally. "I'll try. I'll learn. I want to understand." Liara's smile widened. "Good. That is the first step. Transformation is not easy, Ethan. It will challenge you. It will test your body, your mind, and your spirit. But remember this: you are not alone. Humans may be small in this galaxy, but you are resilient. And now, the galaxy will see it for the first time." Ethan nodded. A spark of confidence filled him. He didn't know everything, and he didn't understand all the changes yet. But he knew one thing. He was ready to begin. The marks on his arms pulsed brighter, and for the first time he felt like he belonged to something bigger than himself. And somewhere deep inside, he knew that nothing would ever be the same again. Ethan followed Princess Liara into a large chamber. The ceiling stretched far above, disappearing into soft, glowing light. The walls were smooth and reflective, and the floor seemed alive, faintly vibrating beneath his feet. Strange shapes flickered across the room, moving like shadows, but he could tell they were not alive. They were simulations. "This is your first test," Liara said, her voice calm and steady. It will help you understand the marks and what they can do. Do not be afraid. The marks will guide you, but your mind and body must act together. Ethan swallowed hard. His heart thumped. Test? I don't even know what I'm capable of, Liara smiled. That is why you must try. Humans often underestimate themselves. Today, you will begin to see your true potential. The shadows shifted, forming shapes that looked like alien creatures. Some hovered, some crawled, some had long limbs that reached toward him. Ethan stepped back instinctively, but a soft warmth ran through his arms. The marks glowed, pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. Do not panic, Liara said. Observe first, then act. Ethan took a deep breath. He focused on the creatures. At first, his movements were clumsy. He jumped to the side, ducked, and sometimes froze, unsure what to do. The shadows moved faster than he expected, but each time he hesitated, the marks on his arms pulsed brightly, almost as if they were encouraging him to move. Then, something strange happened. Without thinking fully, his body moved. He dodged a crawling creature, leapt over a hovering one, and caught a small device that dropped from the ceiling. His mind barely processed his actions. They seemed instinctive. Liara watched silently. Good. You are beginning to understand. The marks guide you, but you must trust your instincts. Ethan's confidence grew. He experimented, testing his reflexes. His movements became smoother, faster, more precise. He realized he could anticipate the creature's actions before they happened. The marks pulsed in a steady rhythm, syncing with his thoughts and actions. This is incredible, he whispered to himself. I can feel everything. Liara approached him. You are not just moving faster. You are learning. Your senses are sharper. You can see patterns in motion, detect weaknesses, and act before your mind fully catches up. This is what humans can achieve with the marks. Ethan nodded, still breathing heavily. He had never felt anything like this. His body felt alive in ways he could not explain. Every muscle, every nerve seemed to work in perfect harmony. He could move, react, and think simultaneously. The test grew harder. The creatures moved faster, more unpredictably. The floor shifted, slightly, creating obstacles. Ethan stumbled once, almost falling, but the marks glowed brighter, guiding him to balance quickly. He jumped over a rolling obstacle and ducked under a swinging arm. Each success made him feel more capable, more confident. After what felt like hours, the creatures vanished. The chamber quieted. Ethan's chest heaved, sweat running down his face, but he felt triumphant. You did well, Liara said. Few humans learn this quickly. The marks respond to your adaptability, but you have also learned to trust yourself. That is the most important part. Ethan flexed his arms, staring at the glowing marks. I don't feel like myself anymore, he admitted, but I feel stronger, smarter, faster. I can think and act at the same time. It's amazing. Liara smiled. That is the purpose of the marks. They do not take away who you are. They reveal who you truly can be. Humans are underestimated in the galaxy because most never see what you can achieve. But you are beginning to understand. Ethan's mind raced. He thought about Earth, about his small apartment, about the life he had known. And now, here he was, moving with speed and precision, senses sharper than he had ever imagined. He felt like a different person, but not in a bad way. He felt awakened. Liara gestured toward a screen that had appeared on the wall. It displayed a distant planet, with fleets of ships approaching. This is not just practice, she said. This is real. A rival faction approaches a human colony. Soon, you may be called to act. Today's training is preparation for tomorrow's challenges. Ethan's stomach tightened. He had never imagined he would be part of something so big. Me? Act? I don't know if I'm ready. Liara placed her hand lightly on his shoulder. You are more ready than you think. The marks will guide you, but courage and decision-making come from within. Humans are stronger than many species give them credit for. This is your chance to prove it, not just to the galaxy, but to yourself. Ethan nodded slowly. He looked at his arms. The marks pulsed softly, almost as if they were alive and watching him, waiting for him to take the next step. He felt a surge of determination. I'll try. I'll do whatever I can to help. Liara's smile widened. Good. That is the spirit of a true ally. You have begun your transformation, Ethan. One day, you will understand the full power of what has begun in your body. But for now, trust the marks. Trust yourself. And learn from each challenge. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling the marks pulse warmly against his skin. He felt a sense of connection, not just to the marks, but to something larger, something greater than himself. The test had not only shown him his abilities, but also opened his eyes to the potential humans could achieve in the galaxy. He knew one thing for certain. He could never go back to being the same person he was before. The marks had changed him, and so had Liara. And somewhere deep inside, Ethan felt the spark of excitement. He was no longer just a human on Earth. He was part of something much bigger. And for the first time, he believed he could rise to meet it. Ethan could still feel the energy pulsing through his arms. The glowing marks had become part of him, almost like they were a second skin. They no longer felt foreign. Instead, they seemed alive, guiding him in ways he did not fully understand. Princess. Liara led him out of the training chamber into a quieter part of the ship. The corridor was wider here, and the walls shimmered faintly with images of distant stars. Ethan felt a strange calm as he walked. He knew the marks were watching, alerting him to every movement, every change in the environment. Your first test was only the beginning, Liara said. What you experience today is small compared to what humans can achieve. But you have shown promise. Very few adapt as quickly as you have. Ethan glanced at his arms. It's strange. I feel stronger, yes, but also smarter. My mind feels faster, like I can understand things I couldn't before. That is exactly what the marks do, Liara explained. They enhance not only your body but also your mind. Humans have incredible potential that few species realize. You are now beginning to tap into it. They arrived at a large observation chamber. The walls were clear, revealing the vastness of space outside. Ethan could see planets, stars, and a nearby fleet of ships moving in formation. Some of the ships had symbols he did not recognize. Signs of the rival alien faction Liara had mentioned. Earlier, these ships threaten human colonies, Liara said. They see humans as weak, but humans are not weak. You have already begun to see that. Today, you acted instinctively. You adapted. That is what makes humans special. Ethan swallowed. But I am just one person. How can I make a difference against so many ships? Liara smiled. One person can inspire many. One person can change the outcome of events. Humans are remarkable because they can think, adapt, and lead in ways other species cannot. That is why you were chosen. That is why the marks chose you. Ethan's mind raced. He thought of Earth, his home, and the countless humans who had never left their planet. Could they really survive in the galaxy? Could they really lead? The marks pulsed softly, as if answering his unspoken questions. You will see, Liara continued. The marks are not just for defense or combat. They reveal your potential, your ability to think beyond limits, to adapt to challenges, and to work with others. They are a bridge connecting humans to the wider galaxy. One day, you will lead, and humans will be respected not for their numbers, but for their courage and ingenuity. Ethan looked down at his arms. The glowing marks seemed to shimmer brighter under her words. He flexed his fingers, feeling the energy flow like a river through his veins. For the first time, he felt a true connection to something greater than himself. Liara gestured to the fleet outside. "Watch closely." The ships of the rival faction moved toward a human colony. From his vantage point, Ethan could see the tiny lights of the colony below, but the danger was clear. The marks pulsed faster, and suddenly, images and data appeared. In his mind, the movements of the ships, weak points in their formation, possible strategies to defend the colony. He gasped. I can see it. I can plan almost automatically." "Yes," Liara said. "Your mind is faster now. The marks enhance your instincts, your strategic thinking. You are beginning to understand the true purpose of your transformation. Humans are not just survivors. Humans are creators, thinkers, and problem solvers. The galaxy has underestimated you, but that will change." Ethan's chest swelled with a mixture of fear and pride. He had never thought of himself as important on a galactic scale. He had never thought humans could be anything more than observers. And yet, here he was, seeing a vision of what humans could become. Liara placed a hand gently on his shoulder. "The path ahead will not be easy. There will be dangers, challenges, and moments when you doubt yourself. But the marks and your own courage will guide you. Humanity's potential is waiting. You're the first to unlock it fully." Ethan nodded slowly. He looked at the fleet outside, imagining the humans at the colony below. He could feel the pull of responsibility, the need to act, and the excitement of discovering what he was capable of. "I think I understand," he said. "It's not just about me. It's about showing the galaxy that humans can rise above, that we can do things other species can't, and that maybe we can be something more than just another race." Liara's eyes gleamed with approval. "Exactly. Humans have always survived, but now they can thrive. They can inspire, lead, and change the course of events. The marks help you see that potential. And you are the first to realize it fully." Ethan looked at his arms once more. The glowing patterns seemed to form shapes he could not fully recognize. Maps, guides, energy flows. He felt a connection not only to himself, but to all humans, to Earth, and to the galaxy. He understood that the marks were more than physical. They were symbolic of humanity's ability to grow, adapt, and lead. The soft hum of the ship filled the chamber. Ethan felt a calm determination settle over him. He no longer felt afraid. He no longer felt small. He was part of something bigger. He was beginning to see what humans could truly achieve in the galaxy. Liara smiled at him once more. "Tomorrow, your next challenge begins. You will face tests not just of strength, but of intellect, courage, and leadership. Today, you have seen a glimpse of your potential. Tomorrow, you will begin to live it." Ethan flexed his fingers again, feeling the marks pulse with energy and purpose. For the first time, he believed in himself and in humanity's place among the stars. And as he gazed out at the distant fleets and shining colonies, he knew that nothing would ever be the same. Humanity was no longer just earthbound. Humanity had begun to rise. Ethan stood on the bridge of the Aelora, his arms glowing softly with the pulsing marks. The observation screens displayed the approaching fleet of the rival alien faction. Ships moved in tight formation, heading straight for the human colony Liara had shown him. "This is real," Ethan whispered. His heart beat fast, but the marks on his arms seemed to steady him. They pulsed in rhythm with his thoughts, guiding him, encouraging him. Liara stood beside him, calm and composed. "Yes, today is your first real test in the galaxy. But you are ready. Trust yourself and the marks. You are stronger than you know. Ethan nodded. He took a deep breath and scanned the fleet. Their numbers were far greater than the human defenses could handle. But instinctively, the marks began to guide his vision. He could see weak points in the alien ships' formations, areas where they were vulnerable, paths where attacks could be most effective. "Ethan, focus," Liara said, noticing his hesitation. "The fleet moves as one. You can predict their actions. You can lead them." Ethan swallowed hard. His fingers brushed the console in front of him. The marks glowed brighter as his mind calculated movements. Strategies and reactions faster than he could fully comprehend. Without thinking, he issued commands. Human ships moved in perfect synchronization, dodging enemy fire and striking precise targets. The rival fleet fired. Beams of energy shot through space toward the colony. Ethan's body reacted before his mind even caught up. The marks pulsed. On his arms, guiding his hands to issue evasive commands, and the human ships shifted effortlessly, avoiding damage. Liara's eyes widened in approval. "You see? Humans are not just survivors. You are adaptable, fast, and clever. This is why the galaxy underestimated you." Ethan focused harder. He could see patterns in the enemy's attacks. Every movement, every decision became clear. He guided human forces to flank the alien ships, forcing them to break formation. The marks on his arms pulsed strongly, a steady rhythm that seemed to sync with the ship's movements and his own heartbeat. A large alien cruiser moved to target the colony directly. Ethan noticed a weak spot near its engines. He directed the human fleet with precision, calculating the perfect timing for a strike. A salvo of energy beams hit the cruiser exactly where he had predicted. It exploded in a burst of fire and light. "Excellent," Liara exclaimed. "You are thinking faster than the enemy. You are learning to act instinctively." Ethan's chest swelled with pride, but he did not stop. The battle continued. Other alien ships tried to surround the humans, but Ethan's instincts guided the fleet perfectly. Each movement of the enemy was anticipated, each counterattack effective. For the first time, Ethan realized the true purpose of the marks. They were not just enhancements. They were a bridge between thought and action. They allowed him to lead, to protect, and to show the galaxy that humans were capable of far more than anyone had believed. The enemy fleet began to retreat, disorganized and damaged. Ethan felt a surge of triumph. The human colony below was safe, and his instincts, guided by the marks, had made all the difference. Liara placed a hand on his shoulder. "You did it. Today the galaxy has seen what humans can do. You are not just a fighter. You are a leader, a strategist, and a symbol of your people." Ethan looked at his arms. The marks glowed softly, like they were satisfied. He felt stronger, faster, and more aware than ever before. But more than that, he felt proud. Humans had been underestimated for too long. Today, they had proven their worth. We actually did it," Ethan said, disbelief and excitement in his voice. "We saved them. The colony. It's safe." Liara smiled. "Yes. And this is only the beginning. Humans have the potential to rise in the galaxy, to lead, to inspire. You are the first to show this. You are the bridge between your people and the stars." Ethan's mind raced with possibilities. He thought of Earth, of all the humans who had never left their planet. He thought of the galaxy, full of species that had dismissed humans as weak. And now he had a glimpse of what humans could become. Strong, intelligent, adaptable, and respected. The marks pulsed again, softly, this time, as if reminding him that this was only the start. Ethan flexed his fingers and felt a deep connection to his body, to the human fleet, and to the galaxy itself. He realized that humans had more potential than anyone had imagined. They were not just survivors. They were creators, leaders, and warriors. Liara looked at him with admiration. Humans are underestimated because they have not yet been tested. But you have shown that humans can rise to any challenge, face any danger, and succeed where others might fail. This is the first step of many." Ethan nodded. He felt a sense of responsibility. He could no longer think of himself as just one person from Earth. He was part of something bigger, a force that could change the galaxy's perception of humans forever. As the enemy fleet disappeared into the distance, Ethan looked at the colony below. Tiny lights glimmered in the darkness of space, safe because of the actions he had guided. He smiled, feeling proud and determined. "Tomorrow," Liara said softly, "you will face new challenges. But today, you have proven yourself. Humans have earned recognition in the galaxy, and you have begun to show what your kind is truly capable of." Ethan flexed his glowing arms once more. The marks pulsed warmly, steady and alive. He took a deep breath and felt a calm determination. He knew the galaxy had underestimated humans for too long, but that would never happen again. Humans were rising, and he, Ethan, was leading the way. The sun of Virelia was beginning to rise, casting a soft golden light over the alien city. From his balcony, Daniel could see the sprawling towers, the floating bridges, and the streams of glowing energy that flowed through the streets like rivers. The air was quiet, but it was not the peaceful quiet of rest. It was the stillness of a world holding its breath. For weeks, the transformation had been changing him. The strange marks on his arms now shimmered faintly even in daylight. Their patterns no longer just lines, but symbols, shifting and rearranging like they were alive. The marks were no longer a mystery to him. They were the language of the old Virelian guardians, a code written directly into his skin. Behind him, the soft sound of footsteps echoed. He didn't need to turn around to know it was Princess Lyra. She had stopped trying to hide her concern. "It is almost time," she said quietly, stepping beside him. "Once the great convergence begins, your choice will decide the fate of more than just our world." Daniel's eyes stayed on the horizon. "And if I choose wrong?" Lyra didn't answer immediately. Her long silver hair caught the light, and for a moment she seemed more like a figure out of a dream than the ruler of an alien empire. "If you choose wrong," she said finally, "then both our worlds will fall to the Dominion, and there will be no one left who can resist them." He nodded slowly. That was the weight he had been carrying since the first time she explained what the marks meant. That he had been chosen by something far older than the Virelian race, something that had been sleeping for centuries beneath the Crystal Mountains. They both turned as the distant hum began. At first it was faint, almost like the vibration of the city's energy lines. But then it grew, deep, resonating, like the voice of the planet itself. Across the skyline, great spires of light rose into the air, connecting the sky to the earth in shimmering beams. The convergence had begun. Lyra stepped closer to him. "The core will speak to you, but it will not command you. You must decide." Daniel swallowed hard. "And what if I'm not ready?" She looked at him with a faint, almost sad smile. "You would not have survived the transformation if you weren't ready." They descended the crystal staircase to the heart of the palace, where a chamber of living stone pulsed with a slow heartbeat. The walls were covered in ancient carvings that shifted when Daniel looked at them, rearranging into the same symbols etched into his arms. The marks glowed brighter, responding to the chamber. As they stepped inside, the floor rippled like water, and a great figure of light formed before him. It wasn't human, nor was it truly alien. Its shape was shifting. A warrior, a beast, a shadow, a flame. Its voice was both inside his head and all around him. "Bearer of the marks," it said. Your world and this one stand at the edge of the storm. Will you take the power to stand against it? Daniel hesitated. If I take it, will I still be myself? You will be more, the voice replied. But the choice is yours. He thought of Earth, still unaware of the coming war. He thought of Lyra's people, fighting to hold the Dominion back. He thought of the strange bond he had formed with her, a trust built in the middle of danger. Finally, he stepped forward. I'll take it. But I'm not fighting for power. I'm fighting to protect them, all of them. The chamber erupted in light. Pain and heat rushed through his body, but it was not like the earlier transformations. This was fire and thunder, the sound of stars being born. His vision went white, and for a heartbeat, he felt like he could see the entire galaxy. When the light faded, Daniel stood taller, stronger. His eyes glowed faintly with the same light as the marks on his arms. Lyra looked at him with wide eyes, and for the first time since he met her, she bowed her head. Outside, the sky was already darkening. The Dominion fleet had arrived. Ships blotted out the sun, and their shadows stretched across the city. Daniel stepped toward the balcony, his voice steady. Tell them, the fight's not over. Lyra smiled faintly, a fierce, proud smile. No, it has only begun. And as the first enemy ships descended, Daniel leapt into the air, the marks blazing like fire, ready to show the galaxy exactly what humanity could become.